You ready?
Always. I'm Larry.
And I'm Kelsey.
And this is First Stop News. Hey everyone, happy first full week of May, which, by the way, starts Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, also known as AAPI Month.
The month celebrates the culture and contributions of Asians and Pacific Islanders to the U.S. It actually started as only 1 week of celebration when then President Jimmy Carter signed it into law in 1978. In 1992, Congress officially designated the entire month of May as AAPI Heritage Month. If you want to learn more, you can go to your local library and check out some resources, or go to asianpacificheritage.gov.
Have you heard of Pompeii? It's an ancient city that was destroyed by a volcano a long time ago. There's been some incredible new discoveries there, but we will tell you all about that later.
Our question of the day is, where was the ancient city of Pompeii? Got it? We'll reveal the answer in a bit.
It's been a long week of extreme storms from the south to the Midwest, starting with tornadoes and followed by flooding.
Michigan and Tennessee have been hit the hardest as tornadoes tore through houses and highways on Tuesday and Wednesday. All flights were stopped at Nashville International Airport in Tennessee, but it's up and running now.
In Kalamazoo, Michigan, 50 people were trapped and then rescued from a FedEx facility when a tornado touched down on Tuesday. These storms are also dumping rainwater on top of the tornado damage and creating flooding conditions.
As of now, severe weather warnings are still in effect across the South and Midwest. The Red Cross has also set up some disaster shelters that you can find on their site. But make sure to check local weather services and see how you and your neighbors can stay safe.
We've been telling you what's been going on in the war between Israel and Hamas, and we have another update.
This week, Israel's military took control of the Palestinian side of the Rafah border crossing. Rafah is a city in the south of Gaza where most of the Palestinians live, and where the people from the northern part of the city have evacuated to since the war began.
Israel has said this was an important step in taking down Hamas, which is the group in charge of Gaza. This crossing, which is now closed, is between Gaza and Egypt, and it was important for getting much needed aid into the region.
The responsibility to open that crossing and make sure that it is running effectively right now is a responsibility of the government of Israel, which is why we have made clear to them that they need to open the crossing as soon as possible and make sure that aid deliveries can come in.
Israel has been attacking the area and urged Palestinians to evacuate. In response, the U.S. paused a shipment of weapons that it was planning on sending to Israel. A reminder, Israel is an American ally, meaning the U.S. has been sending military weapons to the country.
U.S. President Joe Biden told CNN in an interview on Wednesday that he would stop some shipments of weapons to Israel if it launches a bigger attack in Rafah.
They go into Rafah. I'm not supplying the weapons that have been used historically to deal with Rafah.
All of this comes as ceasefire talks continue. Earlier this week, Hamas agreed to a ceasefire proposal, but it was not the same one Israel had agreed to. And Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that proposal was, quote, far from Israel's essential demands.
Negotiations are still continuing as of this show. We'll let you know if anything new develops. And as always, if you have any questions, send us an email to hi@firststopnews.com. A couple weeks ago, we told you that the president signed a bill that could possibly ban TikTok in the United States.
The bill forces ByteDance to divest or sell TikTok to a US-based owner, which would make it a US company. But if ByteDance doesn't sell the app within a year, TikTok would be pulled from app stores in the US.
Well, now TikTok and its parent company ByteDance have officially taken action and sued the US government, which means TikTok is taking this to court and wants a judge to decide if this bill is legal.
They say the potential ban unfairly singles the app out and that the law is unconstitutional and goes against the First Amendment. The First Amendment guarantees Americans the right to free speech, a free press, freedom of religion, and the right to assemble peacefully and petition the government for change.
TikTok says divesting is, quote, simply not possible in the time frame, and its parent company doesn't want to sell.
The US government believes China could be using the app to illegally access data from users here in the US. And they're also concerned that China's government could control the app's algorithm and influence what type of content US users see. TikTok CEO has testified that's not true.
ByteDance is not owned or controlled by the Chinese government.
China is an authoritarian state, which means the government controls almost everything, which is different than the US. The US is a democracy, which means the people have a say by voting in how the government is run. We'll let you know what happens next.
All right, Kels, are you a Gryffindor, Slytherin, Hufflepuff, or Ravenclaw?
You know, I feel like the main character energy, I'm Gryffindor.
That's nice. I'm a recovering Slytherin, aspiring Gryffindor. Wizards, get this. Our picture of the day is this rare version of a Harry Potter book. It sold earlier this year for $14,000 at an auction.
We're talking about an uncorrected proof, which basically means it was one of the first printed drafts of the original story. It's of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, or as it's known in the UK where the auction took place, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
Sounds fancy.
Right? And you can actually tell the difference. An inside page says it's written by J.A. Rowling and Joanne Rowling, not J.K. Rowling.
The book was originally bought for pennies at a secondhand bookshop.
Earlier in the show, we told you May is Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. In honor of AAPI, Mattel created a one-of-a-kind, brand new Barbie.
Oh, hey, Barbie.
Oh, hey, Ken.
The iconic Barbie brand has added a new face to its inspiring women's series. The legendary ice skater Christy Yamaguchi, who made a history in 1992 for being the first Asian American woman to ever win an Olympic gold medal for figure skating. The doll is fully outfitted in her winning Olympic costume, from her white skates to her black leotard, even to her gold embellishments.
Many of you watching right now may not know who Christy is, but she paved the way for so many aspiring skaters and athletes.
Christy retired from competition after her win, but she still performs and has started her own foundation called the Always Dream Foundation, which promotes reading for young kids at home. But that also makes me think, Kelsey, what would we look like if we were Barbies?
Well, you'd be Ken. I'd be Barbie.
Good point.
Okay, are you ready to travel back 2,000 years?
Let's go.
Well, there's been some new discoveries from an ancient city called Pompeii, and they give us a glimpse at what life might have been like back then. Before we tell you what they found, let's answer the question of the day. We asked, where was the ancient city of Pompeii?
And I know the answer is in...
You're supposed to say Greece.
Greece?
Nope, it's in Italy. It was actually near a volcano called Mount Vesuvius, which erupted in 79 AD and buried the city in volcanic ash. Archaeologists have been excavating or digging up Pompeii for hundreds of years, and they recently found a collection of frescoes. Yeah, I also had to look up the word frescoes, and frescoes are watercolor paintings done on a wall. Experts say these paintings are some of the finest to ever emerge from the ruins of Pompeii. The walls have paintings of Greek mythological figures. One fresco even depicts Paris and Helen, whose supposed love for one another caused the Trojan War. Very, very messy.
The illustrations were found on the walls of a huge dining hall with a gorgeous white tile floor. And the walls were likely painted black to hide smoke stains from oil lamps when they entertained. So we know some of the people of Pompeii ate their meals in luxurious dining halls surrounded by these handmade paintings. Hey, Kelsey.
Yeah.
This dog is having a very positive impact on his community.
Ruff, ruff.
Meet Max III. He's the mayor of a town in Southern California called Idlewild. Idlewild is unincorporated, which means that all the town's business is done through the county, so the town's never had or needed its own mayor before.
So how did this dog exactly become mayor?
I am so glad you asked. Kelsey, it all started one day, about 12 years ago, which would put us in 2012.
Yes, come on, math.
Phyllis Mueller, who had recently moved to Idlewild, saw an ad from a local animal shelter creating an election for Idlewild's town mayor as a fundraiser. To be on the ballot, you had to be a pet. To vote, humans had to pay $1 per vote. Mueller told us she jumped at the chance to enter her dog. His name was Max I, and he won the election by a landslide. And since then, Mueller has continued to enlist her golden retrievers. Today, Mayor Max III is at the helm.
People come from all over the world to see Max. Mueller told us when people meet him, they say, "This is the best day of my life." She also said that Max has a message for you. Be positive, be kind, be loving, and do good for others. So we want to know, what do you think of Mayor Max? Would you want your pet to be the mayor of your town?
Yes, the answer is almost always yes.
If so, like Larry, send us a picture of your pet to hi@firststopnews.com.
And before we forget, Mother's Day is this weekend. And we are excited to share some photos of you all, like Samuel and Freddie with their mom, Linda,
Claire and Ellis with their mom, Whitney,
Danielle with Chloe and Madeline, and some of us here at First Stop News with those important women in our lives.
So this is your reminder to tell your mothers, grandmothers, and women who love and treat you like their own, thank you. And give them a big hug, even if it's virtual.
That reminds me, I gotta call my mom. Kelsey, you wanna call yours?
Definitely not a bad idea.
Ma, I need $20.
I'm just gonna FaceTime.